Hey everybody, my name is Andrew Segolia, and my plant that I got chosen for this semester is Yerba mansa. Its scientific name is Anemopsis californica. And so I like to say that this plant has a bunch of common uses, but I like to cut it down to a few. So its most common uses that it's known for is that it fights against cold remedies and flu symptoms, stuff like sore throat, sinuses, respiratory issues, things like that. Something that's not commonly known is that it also has anti-cancer properties. Another common use for it that Native Americans were actually known for using this for, other than its use for cold-like symptoms, is that its leaves have been used for external compressions. They're pretty much just used as for inflammation because it's actually yerba mansa leaves are anti-inflammatory, so those are used for anti-inflammatory uses. And that concludes the common uses. And right here is a picture of the plant, Yerba mansa. It looks a bit like a chamomile plant. The flowers are all white. The stem is very long with very wide leaves. The actual root inside is more brown-like than the rest of the plant, and that's the part that's used in teas and extracts. And these are not the leaves that I'm talking about for compressions. There's more leaves connected to the bottom of the stem that are pretty large. So I'd like to recite what happened at a focus group that was at a New Mexico community at a Native American reservation. So there was a little folklore story that went on here, and I think its lesson was pretty significant. So I'm going to talk about that one today. So there was a focus group that was held. So the leaders went there to see any new traditional Native American medicinal practices that were held that they did not know about. So they went out and they found this community, and pretty much this community did not want to disclose their information, but they were willing to meet up with the focus group leaders. So it was about a group of 5, 6 including the leaders, and they went through the focus group. They had a lot of small talk, but there was just one person that was just very talkative. That talkative person just kept on talking and an hour passed by, and eventually he wanted to tell them more about the community because he felt outside of his comfort zone. So he told them more about the community, the history of the community, and what went on at the community, including the use of traditional medicine practices. So after he did that, he spontaneously took out a yerba mansa root. That's the only reason why they were there, and he knew that. So he then showed that to them, handed it to the leaders, and he explained why he held it on that long instead of just giving it right away. So the reason he held on to it and did not give it right away is because he wanted them to build trust. He told them that trust was the one thing that they needed in order to learn more about the community. So the lesson that the man told the leaders was that he did not want them exploiting the community for the yerba mansa, but he also wanted how the effects of yerba mansa will get out. He also wants the history of the community to be out as well. He does not want the community to be hidden. He wants them to be known. And so that leader held that on tightly for the rest of his career. He holds on to that story and now will never exploit a community for their uses ever again. So like I said before, a lesser known fact about yerba mansa, or Anemopsis californica, is that it has anti-cancer properties. So what does that mean, anti-cancer properties? So there was medical evidence that was found. They went through tests. They took the oil extracts of the yerba mansa root from water, from ethanol and ethyl acetate. So from those experiments, they found that they actually tested it on cancer cells. So with those tests, they found that Yerba mansa extract has cytotoxicity. So what is cytotoxicity? Cytotoxicity is very similar to chemotherapy in that it kills all cells, including cancer cells and human cells. So therefore, Yerba mansa has anti-cancer properties. So that concludes my lesson on Yerba mansa, Anemopsis californica. And so after this, the recipe will be shown. It is for actually not for Yerba mansa because I could not find anything on the herb, and due to COVID-19 situations, I cannot leave my house to explore Walmart or any other store that could have any extracts of the plant. So due to that, I have made a lemon chocolate muffin recipe, and I hope it helps. I'm going to briefly talk about the benefits of lemon juice, and here we go. So as you're watching the recipe, I'm going to talk about the lemon juice benefits. So lemon juice is a great source of vitamin C, as you all might know, and it's also has hydrating factors from its electrolytes. And another factor that it has that is medically benefits is that it improves skin quality. Juice also contains citric acid, and it helps against heartburn and assists digestion. So what are my final opinions on Yerba mansa, or Anemopsis californica? I like to say that it was a struggle of research upon it because it's so rarely known, but also it was great to see that there's so many uses on herbs and all these natural things in the world. But all in all, I didn't know about the plant, but now I do. So I like to say that I learned something, and it was great to see that there was something that in nature can heal against anti-cancers and obviously cold and flu symptoms. Thank you.